first discussion that we had last time, where we first explained the importance of confidentiality. We also explained and discussed if you guys thought feelings and emotions were the same or different. We also learned about the definitions of each, and after, just to remind me, after we discussed the definitions of each one, did all you guys feel that they're the same or different still?
Different.
They were different? Okay, so we're all at the same page where they're all different now? Okay, good. And sometimes it's okay to think otherwise. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so we did confidentiality. We learned about the differences about each of the feelings and emotions. And I also explained that we were going to go a little bit deeper in sharing past experience or most current experience of the different feelings and emotions, as well as if there's any ones that lead to negative behaviors or negative situations. I said that we're going to talk about different ways in handling them to be more positive. Do you guys recall that? Yeah, okay. As we grow up, we become more, I'm going to read a little description right here, and then we're going to, that's when after I read this, we're going to go ahead and talk and share different experiences, as I mentioned, okay? So it says, as we grow up, we become more skilled in understanding emotions. Instead of just reacting like little kids do, we can now identify what we feel and put it into words. With time and practice, we get better at knowing what we are really feeling and why. This field is called emotional awareness. Emotional awareness helps us know what we need and want or don't want. It helps us build better relationships. That's because being aware of our emotions can help us talk about feelings more clearly, avoid or resolve conflicts better, and move past difficulty feelings more easily. Does that make a little bit more sense then? Now that I read this, what I was talking about in the beginning? Of how we can learn in what ways?
That we could talk about it and what it was and how to deal with it.
And how to deal with it. Like I don't know if you guys remember the past session where I said even though we have the same feelings and emotions for certain situations, we all deal with it differently, right? And that's something that we could discuss. We could choose a certain situation maybe that we've all been through, and then shared our ways and reflect on that and say, you know, this is how I did it, you know, how did you do it? And we could go around the table that way. And then we could also share maybe if one of us handled it differently and more negative, we could help each other understand, you know, what are the benefits and what are the cons of it, and which ones are better for ourselves and why. Okay? Emotions can come and go. Like I said last session, they come and go. It from any time, just depends on what you guys are feeling and thinking. Like I know, especially you guys are in elementary school and you guys are probably in class, and maybe in the morning you guys are feeling tired. You guys are not in the mood of listening to your teacher lecture, or you may be happy because later on during the school day because you guys are working on a project that you guys really enjoy. So you guys' feelings and emotions do come and go depending on what the situation is at that current time and place for you guys. Let me see. So based off of that, let's go ahead and discuss first things that are positive emotions and feelings. What kind of situations have you been in, and explain the time, and it could be any time in your life since you were little or recently, of time that made you have positive feelings and emotions. Who wants to go first? Your mom first?
When my mom said she was going to have a baby.
Okay, your mom said she was going to have a baby, and how did that make you feel at the moment?
I got excited.
You got excited? And the feeling of that was excited, or was that the emotion?
I think the emotion was excited. No. Feeling was excited. The emotion was how I felt or what I was doing.
How you showed.
Yeah.
And then how was so that would be like a face expression, right?
Yeah.
And how was your face expression?
Again.
So your eyes lit up and you had a big old smile on your face?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good news to hear. I'm glad you're happy about it. Go ahead, sweetie.
Me, cause since I'm the oldest, my mom was gonna have another baby, so I was glad because I didn't like being the oldest.
You didn't like being the oldest, but you were glad because you didn't like being the oldest, and then you're gonna have a new member in the family, but that would still make you the oldest one. Or do you see it more as
For me not to be the only child.
to be the only child? There you go. Nice. And so now how many siblings do you have?
4.
4. And then with mommy having a baby on the way, how many are you gonna have as well?
I'm gonna have 3.
3. And that's including yourself, or you're the 4th one?
I'm the 4th.
4. And then you said you had how many again, sweetie?
I'm the 4th one.
You're the 4th one. Okay.
You could say that. I'm the
Yeah, that way. It could be from time, like the happiest or most positive feelings and emotions that you've had throughout your lifetime by so far.
What is my turn? Can I go with her story too?
You can.
You can do a different story.
You're more than welcome to share anything that you like.
Okay, so let's see how we went. When I was 3, when my sister was coming along, I was excited, but then not because they had more attention on them. I'm my sister, and so I got mad, but then I was excited because I wasn't the only child.
Okay, so therefore you had mixed feelings and emotions, right? You're happy because you weren't going to be the only child anymore, and then you became upset because it does happen that younger siblings do get the attention because they're smaller. They need a lot of attention, especially since when they're babies. And so therefore you had 2 different ones, and how were you able to handle?
I didn't really do anything. I was holding her and eating ice cream.
Can you recall, since it's been several years now, can you recall how you reacted when or did you show any reaction when you were mad? You just
No, I
just
think I just went ice cream here after that.
you just made a noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, it's funny. So, okay, so something when my sister was like a baby, and there's a wall right here, right? And my mom was holding on to it, and I guess she was next to it, and I got mad because I used to carry her a lot, and I got mad because I couldn't be carried, and I was trying to hug her, and she was, no, I have a baby. So I got so mad, I pushed my mom, and my sister's head hit the wall, and it went in, and it popped out.
Oh my goodness. And then do you recall how old you were?
I think I was little. I think it was 5 or something. I don't know. I don't remember. My mom told me that story, and I just started laughing.
It's funny now that you're older,
Yeah.
right? And then so during that time you were showing what kinds of feelings and emotions.
I don't know. Like my emotion was all mad and yeah.
So do you think your behavior was a positive or negative?
Negative.
In what ways?
What do you mean?
Like what makes you think that that behavior was negative?
I pushed my mom and her head popped in.
And as a result of you pushing your mom, it made mom push sister into
The wall.
the wall, right? It made her hurt her head.
Yeah. But
Okay.
she's okay.
She's like, that's good. I'm glad. And so we all share something besides Leslie that was positive, and Leslie shared something negative, and that's totally fine. But do know that what you guys were sharing was something you guys can all relate to, right? It was a time when you guys were little, and you had a sibling coming in. And to me, it seems like all of you guys are the oldest of the family, right? So you guys are the oldest, right? See, we learned something new today about each other. So all you guys are all the oldest. I'm not, I'm the middle child. So I have an older sister and a younger brother. So I had a lot of, since you guys shared, I'll go ahead and share happy. Happy, I would say positive would be, Alyssa, they're here for you, sweetie. You could go ahead and get your belongings. We'll see you next time, okay, sweetie? And then the next time when you come back in, we'll go ahead and fill you in. Thank you. A positive for me, a positive feelings and emotion. Let me think. There's so many different things. I can't remember anything younger, but I would say as older, I would say a positive feeling and that I had was finally finishing my bachelor's program. And why that was a positive feeling for me and exciting all the above was because took me 2.5 years to finish. Sorry, there's a fly. 2.5 years to finish, and then having a newborn, it was very, very tiring and exhausting. And as much as I was going crazy, I pulled it off, and we are here now today. So that's a positive feeling for me. And so that was my story. What is something else to talk about negative? Because that one you guys could learn more from versus positive, because positive always results in more positive actions, right? Yeah. Okay, so who wants to go first and discuss a negative situation that, or not, I shouldn't say negative situation, but something happened that made you have negative feelings and emotions?
Ooh, but I had to start sharing a room with my stepsister. Because when my mom got married, so we moved in with them.
Okay.
And I didn't have my own room anymore, and it got really mad.
You're really mad, right? Because it's not fun, especially when you have a step sibling coming in that you probably didn't know too well. And as a result, what was that behavior from that?
I threw all her stuff out of the room.
You threw her stuff out of the room, and then what happened after that?
And then I got in trouble.
You got in trouble. What was your consequences?
I was grounded for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks after that. And then you finally let stepsister come back in?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about yours, sweetie?
Mine is almost like hers, but mine, it's because since I have a baby sister, and I didn't think it was fair because my maiden sister gets to have her room, and then I don't because I have to be with my sister, and then once we had to move, we got a new bed set and everything, and then I started throwing everything out from my sister's room because I didn't want her. Well, actually, I didn't throw them. I just got mad because she was leaving. But I actually wanted my own room because since I'm the oldest, and Mama said no, that she had to have her own room because I have to live with my little sister.
Okay. And so was there any consequences for you?
Actually,
No. Okay. And sometimes there isn't, and sometimes there is. It just depends on the situation that's happening. What about for you, Les? I know you shared one already. Is there a different one that you want to share?
most of all with my sister.
What about anything related in school? Like a time that you're here in school and someone made you mad or got you upset for some reason, or no?
Like one,
No.
like there was this one time when Mom maybe said something about do they have to be alone?
As long as it has to relate to something like that made you feel a certain way, but like that made you feel something negative, like a negative feeling. Because a lot of times, if, like, for example, even though you're not part of a situation, that you're not in it, but yet you know, like, family members or friends or something that are, something's happening to them, but yet it still affects you because you're aware of it and you care for those individuals. So regardless either you're in it or not, you know of it, and you're gonna be affected one way or another, if it's positive or negative.
Okay. So can I share two stories?
Go ahead.
Okay, one of the stories is funny. I remember sister's Barbie because I was in kindergarten, and I guess she got I don't know, I forgot why we got mad at each other for something, and so since I got mad at her, I went outside and I ran to the backyard, right? And I'm sitting on this big old tire, and then I saw this because the day before we had a fire, and I guess there was coal.
Oh, that
And it was still
remains.
burning, and I threw the Barbies in there, and then it all burned.
No.
And then my sister.
And so so you felt, for some reason you guys got mad at each other, and as a result of you feeling mad, you went and got sisters' Barbies and burned them, right? And so did you get any consequences for that behavior?
Yeah.
What was your consequence?
Thank you.
Spanking.
For my dad, which is worse.
So ever since then, did you ever do it again? Since then? You did or you didn't?
I
You
did.
didn't? Okay. Did you want to share your other story or no?
Yeah, when my mom and I got married today, when my mom knocked him out, and I got so mad at her.
And did anything happen to the wall when you did it?
No, I just like that, and it sucks.
Okay. And then I know it's usually when someone hits what, depending on how hard you hit it or how the wall is, what the wall is made out of, it could either cause a hole in the wall or usually it will cause you to get
Yeah.
like to bleed or some kind of injury on your
I got
knuckles.
like a little scrape, but it was like.
So, and those are things and that's why I wanted to discuss more of negative feelings because a lot of things could be avoided. Because I know for Leslie, for example, I'll start with you first. And I want you guys to go ahead and provide your input too of what you guys think. I don't want it just to be me talking. I want you guys to put in your input too. With you getting mad and your behavior towards that was you punched the wall, right? So after you punched the wall, who was the one that was hurting? Was the wall hurting or were you hurting? And what do you guys think?
I think that's true because the wall doesn't have feelings and emotion, only you do. And since you punched the wall and you got in trouble, that maybe made you mad at your mom for telling you something, or yourself for punching the wall.
Did you hear the story?
Yeah, I heard the story.
Nobody was telling me stuff. Your mom told you.
No,
The
her
whole
mom.
system just
Yeah. And so you said that yes, that you know how you, and I agree. Those are things that we need to think about because you punching the wall is just a wall, right? It
Yeah.
can't feel, it can't hear, it can't do anything. Versus you hitting it, it resulted in you getting yourself hurt, right? And with that, Maria, I want you to go and provide your input. What do you think could be a different way that Leslie could have handled the situation? In a way that she wouldn't have gotten herself hurt.
By telling her mom and her dad to stop fighting, and also by her stopping them.
I wouldn't necessarily say stop, only because that's more of an adult situation, and then you guys are really young to even be dealing with that for you guys' age level. But I know one thing you say, you know, tell him to stop. You know, just say, you could just shout out stop. Or even then, if dad was already out of the house, you know, you could, maybe not that same day or that same night that it happened, but the next day, and a lot of times it's hard to talk to parents, especially for your guys' age. I know I never did. And yes, if I went back, I wish I would have. Things would have gone a lot smoother and easier for me. But express your feelings. Let them know what's going on, even if it has to do with home, with school, whatever it is, because your parents do what? What are their jobs as parents? What is their role and responsibilities?
To help you.
What else?
And they will be with you whenever they need, whenever the child needs their help.
To protect you, to love you, protect you, guide you. What else?
To take care of you.
Take care of you.
Take you to school.
Take you to school.
Keep you in sports. Keep you out of the streets.
Support, right? That's a big one. And then I know for you two guys, that you guys both share similar stories as, you know, you mentioned you threw your stepsister's belongings out. As a negative result of that, you had consequence of being grounded, right? And I know nothing really happened to you. And like I said before, sometimes depending on when your parents decide to give you consequences or not, like each situation is different. But what is something different that you could have done differently?
I could have told my parents that I didn't want to share a room with her instead of just like throwing my hair stuff.
And what do you guys think? What else is another solution that's a more positive, that would end up in more positive direction? You have, and I know your story was pretty similar to hers.
Wait, okay, you didn't want to share alone, right?
They
You
both
wanted
didn't.
your own. You could've let us know later.
Yeah, but then both of their stuff has to be in one room, and that's something that they don't want, right?
It's true.
And the thing about it this way, not just at home, but at school too, there's a lot of different things that happen for a reason, but I just want mainly you guys to understand is that our feelings and emotions, they control our feelings, control our emotions and our actions. And most important is I want you guys to learn is that how to control them so that way you can deal with them differently, so that way you guys don't get into trouble or don't react in ways that's gonna hurt yourself or something that could have been, done differently, right? Like how we discussed with the president, with her getting mad instead of her punching the wall, she could have expressed herself. And that's something too, is like not just speaking to parents, but really truly going into detail with them about how you really, really feel. That's the most important one. And I know you guys are sixth graders right now, right? You guys are gonna be going to junior high pretty soon, and I know junior high can be pretty tough. I was there a couple of years ago, probably a little bit more than 10 years, 15 years, but it could be challenging, and that's why, whatever, you're gonna have lots and lots of mixed emotions and feelings during that time, a lot of them, but you guys need to learn how to cope with them and deal with them one by one. And then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up because our time is running out already. Just know that when you guys have those negative feelings and emotions, do your very best in trying to express them to somebody who you trust, because if you don't, what's going to happen is little by little, they're going to start piling up on top of each other, and then the next thing you know, one small thing is going to trigger it to explode, and it's going to be something big, and you're later on, you're going to be like, I can't believe I just did that, and you could possibly be in a lot of trouble depending where that situation happened at or who's going to be doing the consequences for you. So always take a moment to know that. And then one of the techniques that you could do at the moment when you can't escape that situation is different breathing techniques, where you just sit up straight. Go ahead and do it. Sit up really straight, and then take a deep breath and breathe in, and then breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Because you're, instead of concentrating on what got you mad or what got you frustrated or what got you whatever that negative feeling is, you're not concentrating on your breathing, right? And you're not concentrating on what actually just happened. Another one is opening your fist. Go ahead and put your hands out. Opening your fist. And then squeezing them tight and letting them go. Have you guys heard like those stress balls? You could either use it with or without a stress ball. And that's what you guys could do too, is doing that, and then the different breathing techniques are also just writing on your thoughts and feelings on a piece of paper. Write it down, rip it up, throw it away. Because even though you're not telling someone, you're still letting it out. You're letting it out by writing it and then seeing what you're writing and then throwing it away. When you're at home too, before you go to bed, you could also, or not even when you go to bed, you could just get your pillow and just scream in it. Nothing wrong with screaming. It sounds crazy, but it's a relief. Walking, jogging, running, reading a book. Those are all different things to use to help you guys' feelings and emotions that are heading towards a negative side. Any questions? Thoughts? Yeah. You guys are good?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go ahead, I know Alyssa had to leave early, but we will go ahead and meet next Tuesday again around this time frame, and then we'll go ahead and fill her in, and then we'll go ahead and close the session next time. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, enjoy the rest of your guys' day.